Indian tour of Australia in 2003-04 started very well for the Indians. They had a draw in the first test match. They won in Adelaide. Rahul Dravid had a magnificent match in Adelaide. They won there, so they're 1-0 up, and they go to Melbourne. 4 test series, so they're in the box seat. And they had another advantage. They had Virender Sehwag. I mean, if you've got an aggressive opening batsman, to me, having had the good fortune to play in a lot of cricket teams with an aggressive opening batsman, and you see the advantages that they give you. Not only do they boost your own team because they take the bowlers on, and if they hammer them, it helps everybody in their own team, but it also deflates the opposition. So Virender Sehwag was and still is an enormous asset to India in that regard. He came out, I think a lot of people thought he'll struggle in Australia, you know, with the extra bounce, that'll cause him problems. Well, I'll tell you who caused who the problems. Sehwag caused the Australian bowlers the problem. And, you know, I've picked out a couple of Doug Walters innings. I reckon Doug Walters and Virender Sehwag are very similar in thought. Neither of them worry about the ball that's just gone past. All they worry about is the next one that's coming down, and what they see is an opportunity to score. Every ball basically is an opportunity to score. That's how Virender Sehwag plays, and that's why I love watching him bat. I mean, and you think about the courage, the mental courage that it takes to play like that, because you're going to fail sometime, and you're going to play some horrible shots that are going to look bad. And when you do it as an opener, it stands out even more than when you do it in the middle order. So you're going to cop a lot of criticism for playing irrational shots and being irresponsible. But to have the courage to just sort of say, well, to hell with you, I'm just going to keep playing the same way. That takes a lot of mental courage, and I think that's one of Virender Sehwag's great strengths. Anyhow, he came in this day in Melbourne and he flayed the Australian attack. And he was going to skate in 200 on the first day. Now you think about the guys, the opening batsmen in all the opening batsmen in world cricket who have been able to make a double 100 on the first day. Not too many. Now Sehwag, if his attitude hadn't have been the way it is, he would have done it twice. Because he had at least another half an hour to go, and he's on 195, and it was purely the fact that he decided, right, I'm going to bring up my 200 with a 6. And he got a full toss from Kadich, and he went to hit it out of the ground, and he just slightly mishit it and got caught on the boundary, pretty well out on the boundary for 195, with still a half an hour to go. I mean, incredible innings on the basis that the conditions were foreign to him, you know, the extra bounce and so on of Australia. But that's Virender Sehwag. He doesn't worry about things like that. He is the classic see the ball, hit the ball player. And if you're going to simplify the game of cricket as a batsman, that's what it is. It's a see the ball, hit the ball game. And Virender Sehwag has managed to cut all the crap away, and that's all he's left with. Amazing player. He did get his 200 on the opening day of a test match, and I had the good fortune to see it. It was in Multan in, 2004, I think. And I reckon he would have got 300 in the day if it hadn't been for Sachin coming in, and Sachin was sort of telling him to, take it easy, because it was sort of getting near the end of the day. He probably would have fallen just a little bit short of 300, but I wanted to see if he could go on, because I reckon if he'd have been within range, what he thought was within range of 3, he would have gone for it. But Sachin kept, telling him to steady down. I wish Sachin hadn't come in that day, because I wanted to see, I'm absolutely sure that if he'd have got to, say, 260 with 20 minutes to go, he'd have had a crack at getting the 300, because that's the way he plays. And that's why I love him so much, his attitude to batting. And his attitude to batting that day in Melbourne was brilliant. The amazing thing was that Sehwag, having got India so far on top, and India being 1-0 up in the series, that they somehow or other found a way to lose that test match. I can't believe that they could lose it after such a great knock on the first day, but they managed to do it and finished up a tied series.